Hello and welcome back once again to CBR MTG. My name is Angus Mackay. I'm joined here by Jake Sims.
Hey guys.
We are watching Miracles versus DNT. DNT in this case stands for Dougal's Tariffs instead of the usual death and taxes as we're quite used to. This is one of the matches of all time, right? This is like two elders of the format in the form of Miracles and DNT. Two legacy staples battling it out once again. DNT obviously being the Thalia Stoneforge Mystic mono white sort of control-y, aggressive. It's just a all-around good time deck, and the Miracles deck is a blue-eye control deck utilizing the Miracles mechanic on Entreat the Angels and Terminus. It's usually the only two they go for. In this instance, if you ask me, I think you should be playing all of the Miracles for the flavor. Otherwise, what's the point?
Bonfire of the Damned. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of bad cards that have a Miracle cost, but if you're not playing all of them, then look, what's the point?
Jitesh is a very good Miracles player. He came second at the 2018 CanCon, losing to our own Lachlan Woodsmith on also Death and Taxes.
Yeah.
So this is probably some nightmare flashbacks for him. But
That's right.
He's very pimped out. I really like Jitesh's commitment to blinging this deck out.
Yeah, and this is like, I think we have the people on the wrong side. Yeah, no, we're all right.
We're all good.
Sorry.
They just both have Judge foil full art.
Beautiful foil. Yeah, there's something that has been a recurring thing this weekend has been just pimped out legacy decks.
Yeah.
There was a lot on the weekend and a lot in our videos as well. Something that we've mentioned before, but Jitesh possibly going for one of the more expensive decks to foil out with foil Jaces, foil Brainstorms, foil Force of Wills. Like these are cards that cost you a pretty penny, and
Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah.
Like none of that from the vault garbage. We've got World Wake foil JC boys in here.
Yeah, no, this is a very pretty deck, but Jitesh, it's very, very scary when you see a Miracles player with a foiled out deck, because you know that this is not their first Miracles game.
He's in there for the long haul. Yep.
And he's looking to cast some Miracles, resolve some Miracle triggers, so best of luck to him. But I mean,
already off the bat, like Dougal tried to fire off a Aether Vial on turn one. Jitesh was very quick to Force of Will that, and it is paying off now because Dougal has missed a land drop for turn.
Oof.
Very unfortunate.
That the turn one Aether Vial makes the land screw sort of just feel fine. You're like, hey, turn one Aether Vial, this is good. Jitesh knows the power of the Aether Vials and is willing to. Also, it makes your spells just like very hard to counter.
Yeah.
So Jitesh is very interested in keeping that Aether Vial off the table. No sort of real follow-up out of Jitesh as the usual, unless we're seeing a Jace coming down here, which looks like it.
Yep.
The Miracles decks do a lot of spinning, and it looks like they're kind of running out of gas, because of all the cantrips and all the Jace activations and stuff, but really they're just sculpting like an unbeatable hand, and all they have to do is stop you from having a good time for a little while, and then they can start having a good time.
Yeah, Jitesh was very quick to Mindslaver. Oh, okay. Dougal's seen enough. He can't compete with a Jace that's ticking up.
Yeah, it's just that, like, once Jace hits the battlefield and he starts brainstorming, like, with lands up, like, he's using a fetch land after that. It's like, it's just going to be very hard for him to come out of that. So what are we seeing coming out of the sideboard, do you think?
Oh, it's hard to tell with without a list in front of us. I'm not too up to date with the recent Miracles posts top bannings. What their sideboard is currently packing. I assume there might be a couple of Gideons, Mentors, Monastery Mentors floating around there. Maybe even some Cancel Judgment. I saw a Volcanic Island, so that's safe to assume that he's got a Blood Moon in there. Yep. Not great in this matchup, but it's definitely an option.
We saw. I did get a quick peek of a couple of Disenchants and 3 Mentors. So, I mean, probably enough. Like the Mentor plan is pretty good. If sometimes like Jitesh might need to just turn the corner as fast as possible, and even though he doesn't have the top play top bounce top pay top, as we did when Miracles was super good, it's like still have a lot of good stuff to do.
So he just gave a quick flash to the camera. He took out some number of search risk counters and some number of counters.
I saw a couple of
counterbalances
come around as well. Yeah.
Yep. Mentors, Council Judgment, and definitely Disenchanter coming in just to deal with Aether Vials, Battle Skulls, all the swords. The sort of Fire and Ice could be a huge problem for any blue-based deck. Not so much Miracles because it has Swords to Plowshares to get around because the sword of Fire and Ice doesn't offer protection from white, so Swords to Plowshares is a live removal option.
Still good to have a nice clean answer too.
Yep.
Any sort of artifact that he plays, and like Dougal will be on the play as well, so he might actually land a Aether Vial very easily, with Jitesh's only sort of plan being to Force of Will that or have a Disenchant for later. Yeah, so we'll see. I didn't see exactly what Dougal's taking out, but he looks like he might show the camera really quick. I think... No, I missed it, unfortunately, but like...
any cards that are in for the long haul is safe to assume Dougal's bringing in. Just like Gideon Ally of Zendikar has become a mainstay in the Death and Taxes sideboard, so if he's got them, it's safe to assume he's bringing them in. Council Judgment to deal with any problematic permanents. He's in for the long haul here.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that he will be bringing in Gideon Ally of Zendikar. It's interesting to see how well it works, but it still dies to Path, but like I would kind of be pretty interested in bringing in the little Gideon, the one that makes a token for that says as long as you control a Gideon, you can't lose the game.
Gideon of the Trials.
Yeah, Gideon of the Trials.
Is that to become a new Death and Taxes?
I've never seen it before, but it seems fine, right? Like if you Jitesh would have a huge problem getting rid of a Gideon that's not a creature. He can swords it, until the cows come home, but he can't deal with a Gideon emblem, which would be very hard for him to deal with. But look, we'll see what comes out of it. Unfortunately, we didn't see the turn 1 Aether Vial from Dougal's side, but sometimes you just have to keep a hand that doesn't have a turn 1 Aether Vial. Not much you can do about that. But we'll see what Jitesh comes up with. He's quickly fetched out an island and got a ponder. He's just examining the top 3 cards of his library. It seems that it's we'll see what he has. But I think I may have seen a Terminus, but at this point, Terminus is no good. So he's opting to keep it. He does have that Brainstorm, so he can start putting stuff back.
Unfortunately, no play turn 1 play from Dougal. No Mother of Ruins, no Aether Vial. Very unfortunate. Here's a Rishardan Port. Okay, here's Thalia.
Yeah, Thalia would be good. If he can't counter it, then that seems pretty good.
Yep.
Thalia is actually probably crucial in this matchup, right? Because the way that Jitesh gets ahead is that he plays spells that cost 1, 2, 3 mana, and it's just going to start stifling his mana base completely, and he might have to succumb to this Rishardan Port, just taxing his mana base. But here
comes Thalia.
She also beats, which is good, so Jitesh has a limited amount of time to answer this Thalia. Not impossible, but still something to be considered. Dougal opting for the now banned putting the lands at the front of the deck.
Is it banned, or is it just people really don't rate it?
No. It's a thing that you're not allowed to do in competitive REL as of today or yesterday, I think. But
as of the time of recording this,
yeah. Well, there you go. So Dougal, please, speaking to you from the future, enjoy your lands in front of your permanents as much as you'd like for now.
I don't care how foily your cards are; it just looks not good having your lands up in front and then permanents back.
Yeah, it's a flavor fail having the Thalia have to fight through all these planes and ports to get to the opponent. But yeah, we're definitely going to be riding this Thalia as long as possible, and just using that Rishardan Port. It could be crucial in this matchup because, as I said before, he's got a limited amount of resources. Looks like he's even stifled for land drops at this point. Thank God he has 1 million cantrips to sort him out. But we'll see. The Mentor could be good for the future. Oh, we do have a Flooded Strand, so A tiger instead, my apologies. Black border tiger.
I'm pretty sure off that brainstorm, Jitesh has put a mentor and a terminus back. So he's drawn the mentor for turn, and now there is a terminus floating on top there, just waiting for Dougal to commit more to the board. And an ancient tomb from Death and Taxes.
Tomb.
That is very spicy.
Yeah, I mean, it seems very interesting, but more all the power to him, I suppose. Ooh, Warping Whale? Warping Whale? Holy moly. The secret tech. The secret tech. Dougal's unlocked the secret tech.
That's great.
Terminus, notably a sorcery for Warping Whale, but that is... that's a good time. We're all having fun here today.
Warping Whale is actually...
spells in Death and Taxes.
Yeah, and Warping Whale is very easy for the Death and Taxes list to cast. They've got Richard and Ports, they've got Wastelands. This Ancient Tomb that's come out of nowhere. Yeah.
I bet Jitesh was wondering what that Ancient Tomb was doing, and now he's finally figured it out. But look, that was crucial, you know. And Dougal's like, he may even have that in the board to bring in for this exact matchup because Terminus is a sorcery, you know. So we're able to counter it with Warping Whale, and you know anything that gets in the way, and like even some matchups that could be really hard for Death and Taxes, like combo decks, you know, like combo decks die to Warping Whale sometimes if you get super lucky. So, hey, all the power to you.
I mean, it counters Sneak and Show and just
yeah, absolutely. We'll see if Jitesh can fight back from this obvious gotcha moment, which I mean. Some people don't say it's a good showing of like if you're a good Magic player or not, whether or not you can get someone with a weird spell. But you know, it's something that I like personally. We'll see. Aether Vial, yes.
You're a bit late to the party, eh?
Yeah, look, we're here, and that's the important thing. It's not going to match up very well to Jiteth's Disenchant in hand, but
surely you don't.
The second Warping Whale! Yes! Oh my god. We neglected to mention that Dougal has running 9 or 10 Warping Whales in his deck. Oh my god. The absolute secret tech. You might just win on the back of this Thalia. This 3-mana counter spell that only counters sorceries is absolutely getting Jitesh right now. So
wow.
Hopefully he'll be able to snake through some... So, I mean, even the Disenchant isn't doing that much now, right? Because he's paid his mana for... I mean, he's just... I'm in awe. Like, all Death and Taxes is now called Dougal's Tariffs because he's playing it expertly by tapping out the lands with the Rishanen Port, playing these like absurdly powerful cards. I guess they're working. So, but he's holding off. He held off 2 Terminuses, and he's still countering spells.
Here's new Thalia. Not that great against Miracles because most of the lands are basics.
Yep.
And obviously not a lot of creatures.
I mean, Monastery Mentor tokens come in tapped, which is not completely irrelevant. It is a small edge that you get, but that's a good reason to play Ancient Tomb as well. If you can go turn 1 Aether Vial, turn 2 Thalia Heretic Cathar, then you're feeling pretty good. For anyone who doesn't know, Thalia Heretic Cathar is coming out of Eldritch Moon.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2 and a white, first strike.
3/2.
3/2. It's non-basic, sent to the battlefield tapped, and creatures enter the battlefield tapped. Yeah, of your opponent's control.
Yep.
Completely busted card, especially since they... especially because you can play the other Thalia as well. So this is a huge tax. I mean, there's cards like this that kind of crush the meta, you know, because fetch lands are a huge part of Legacy.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have to pay one extra for every spell, plus your fetch land comes onto the battlefield tapped, it's like roughest beats.
Your tempo is just destroyed.
Yeah, absolutely. But unfortunately, she did not stay on the battlefield long enough. Jitesh finally finding a good excuse to play out this Swords to Plowshares.
This Thalia has done so much work.
Yeah, she's doing a good job.
Taxed his mana and just been an absolute beatstick in this, getting Jitesh all the way down to 6. The Ancient Tomb is starting to accumulate damage to Dougal, but not in a very meaningful way. Here's Recruiter of the Guard. I'm very keen to see what he might search from this. Maybe if it resolves Sanctum Prelate. Okay. But his
we'll never find out. Yep. But I think Sanctum Prelate's a pretty good option for sure.
Just trying to lock Jitesh out of his cantrips, or
you can name what five I think Terminus is, or
whatever the full CMC of the Miracle cards costs are.
That's a good thing to put in. For
something like Jace or something that would really just mess with the board state and just start swinging things into Jet's favour. But yeah, I guess we'll never know.
And rising from the ashes is Dougal's second Thalia, beating the third Terminus coming out of Jitesh. Finally put a Thalia down to the bottom, but Dougal was able to follow up pretty quickly with the second Thalia, or the third Thalia if you want to count Heretic Cathar.
I don't think I've seen a non-foil card that could be foil out of these two players, so I appreciate that.
Very, guys. Very impressed.
Very nice, guys. Keep it up.
And I mean the black bordered Tundra pretty much counts as a foil. It's as fancy as you can get, that's for sure. All right, Stoneforge Mystic applying a little bit more pressure, sort of.
That's fire and ice.
Yeah, cool. So protecting from Jace, and Jitesh scoops it up.
He's seen enough.
I mean, the protection is like a nice benefit, but giving it +2/+2 and shocking is is shock or bolt?
I'm pretty sure it's bolt and draw a card. It's something stupid.
That's huge. Yeah. Great thing to get, but Jitesh had seen enough. That's I mean, I've very rarely seen Jitesh lose a game of Magic in the formats that I've seen him play. He's a very, very good player, but Dougal's cards just lined up insanely well. Like, I mean, Jitesh's cards lined up really well as well. He was able to play three. He was able to play out the Jace. He was able to play 3 Terminuses, but it just wasn't enough, unfortunately.
Gonna have to pay some respect to the Warping Whale in Game 3, because very relevant card.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So sweet to see.
So we'll slide into Game 3. Both players opting not to make any changes. We'll see what else each player can pull out. But I tell you, if I see another Warping Whale, I'm going out and buying D&T right now. Like, got a deck that can play Warping Whale that isn't Eldrazi. I'm in. Yeah. You see the Councilor's Judgment being shuffled in by Jitesh as well, so you're definitely bringing it in. Yep. Just a nice, clean answer to whatever.
Just anything, really.
Yeah. Any.
Nothing is safe from democracy.
Yeah, exactly. If Dougal is splashing blue that we haven't seen yet for Trubnine Nemesis, then it wouldn't be the most surprised I've been today, that's for sure. All right, we're playing out our third and final game for this match. Looking at our opening hands, as we mentioned before, Councilor's Judgment is here. He's ready to fight. Jitesh might not agree, but it seems like a reasonable hand.
I see a Warping Whale in there.
Yes. Yeah, we see an Arid Mesa. I think is a basic island or two as well. So just a perfectly reasonable hand. We can kill a Thalia if we hold up some mana.
Yep.
Krakus is not doing anything in this matchup.
So where are we at? We have land go from Jitesh, and here for Dougal's second turn is Thalia, Heretic Cathar. I assume the cavern is naming humans, just to make sure that Thalia comes down uncontested. But I'm Jitesh, very quick to answer with Sludge the Plowshare. That Thalia can't stick around for him. It's just too much trouble. It was too much of a thorn in his side in game number 2, and just he can't be sticking around, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if there's a good thing to Swords to Plowshares, it's definitely that Thalia. And no Warping Whale. Oh, Warping Whale doesn't do it here, does it?
Nah.
That's all right.
Swords is an instant.
Yeah, maybe we'll see the big Thalia come out here, or I'm not sure exactly what's in Dougal's hand, but there's definitely a Stoneforge Mystic, which it looks like he's planning on playing. Are we okay with getting the sort of Fire and Ice again, or maybe we'll consider putting the Batterskull down?
Maybe Batterskull just as another threat.
Batterskull's so resilient. But look, I guess sort of Fire and Ice is good enough.
Yep.
It looks like Jitesh has other plans. Tapping some mana down. Oh no, that was just tapped from the swords? Sure. Oh no, he's playing out the second swords.
Yep.
Totally reasonable. Well, he still has the ETB still resolved. He's still got the Sword of Fire and Ice. So.
And Jitesh missing his third land drop. That is super unfortunate. This
really
Miracles
rough.
deck it doesn't need a lot to go, but it's just very tempo orientated. It needs its lands. It needs to make the land drops.
Yep.
To keep like counter spells removal active. And yeah, just missing your third land drop is not good. Not where you want to be.
He does have Terminus in hand. If he can land a Brainstorm, he can put Terminus back on
Yep.
top and then go for a little bit longer. But like, it's going to be a hard slog. Like, we're gonna have to we have to hit more land drops. You know, as you said before, it's just like it's the thing that Jitesh needs to do to win this game is to draw at least 2 more lands for that Jace and the Council's Judgment.
Phyrexian Revoker. What do we name here?
Interesting. I think in the blind you just named Jace.
Yeah, that's more than reasonable.
I don't think there's really anything else that you can name that's relevant, but Jace is a good name.
He hasn't seen Search for Ascanto or Ascanto the Sunken Ruin, whatever mode you want to...
Yeah, sure. The Jitesh... This is really interesting as well because Jitesh doesn't even have blue up. Like, I've never seen...
Here we go.
Okay.
Mentor.
Okay, opting to not play out the... I think probably we can race at some point, but maybe just putting down the Monastery Mentor while we can is a good idea. But let's not forget that old dude was playing a Palace Jailer.
Palace Jailer is very
That's
sweet.
secret tech. I wonder if he brought that in post-board because...
Palace Jailer isn't secret tech. It's become the
yeah, but I mean
main
against
deck.
Miracles, right? You wouldn't be expecting it.
No, it would be one of the cards you consider, you'd consider taking out just
I guess it kills...
it's not creature heavy.
I mean, there's a lot of targets, but it kills Vendilion Click as well, which is something that something that Miracles is known to play. But Palace Jailer is just is tech, especially if you have an Ancient Tomb. Oof, you just play that out turn 3. I like it. Also, when you're playing mono white, you are very limited on your card draw. So becoming the Monarch, especially against Miracles, like this is pretty fantastic. You know, like Dougal, like Jitesh, this isn't a normal O-ring. This is when your opponent becomes the Monarch.
Yeah.
So somehow Jitesh is going to have to put in...
do some combat
damage
to
to be able to get the Monastery Mentor back. And it's going to be very hard for him to do, but not impossible. Not impossible.
Missing another land drop, unfortunately.
Yeah, God, Dougal's just hitting every land drop this game.
This is probably a couple more lands than he actually wants.
Okay.
But... yeah,
he's still got cards in his hand. I mean, he's got a Jit.
Yeah.
He can equip this Jit and go in with the Palace Jailer. Like, doesn't really care about the Palace Jailer getting paths, so it's probably okay to throw to get swords. He's probably okay to throw it under the bus, but you need to be. Yeah, I think Dougal agrees. So you just need to be hitting with that Jit. Every second that you're not hitting with that Jit is like some time that you're wasting.
And that is Disenchant on his Jitto.
Yeah, look, that's a good enough reason to be swinging with the Jit as soon as possible as well. Like, not letting your opponent have extra lands to have extra draws to draw into that Disenchant. It's a shame that Jitesh had it straight away, but what can you do? He's obviously not too worried about the Phyrexian Revoker, but maybe he has another... he has the Council's Judgment, so he's still got options, but he does have a Jace in his hand that is absolutely rotting. Not being able to make that 4th land drop.
Here we kind of see the downside of Portent, which has become the new tech from Miracles, being able to try and set up a Miracle trigger from like Terminus or Entreat the Angels. It's drawing on Dougal's upkeep, which obviously means for Jitesh can't make his land drop if he was to draw one off of the Portent.
Speaking of new tech, this is probably one of the reasons you want to play Rishadan Port over Ghost Quarter in Death and Taxes. As well, because I know that you've been discussing it in lands, and I know that some D&T decks are discussing whether or not to play Ghost Quarter or Rishadan Port, considering that for quite a while Rishadan Port was very expensive, so it might be better to play it. But like, Jitesh would love a Ghost Quarter. You know, I guess it doesn't particularly matter because you're not netting any lands, but like if Dougal could rip a Rishadan Port before Jitesh made his 4th land drop and slammed this Jace, then he'd be in big trouble. I mean, we're just going to brainstorm here. There's no reason not to. Like, he might lose it. I mean, he's almost certainly
he's going to
lose
certainly lose this Jace from Dougal's attacks.
Yeah, but maybe the Brainstorm is enough, like, and soaks up a bit of damage as well. Let's not forget that Jitesh is only on 9 life. Like, oh, the Warping Whale. Just for value. Are we getting an Eldrazi token
Is there
here?
a Scion coming here?
Oh.
Yes.
Yes!
All the modes on Warping Whale.
Holy crap. That's actually not irrelevant at all because he's going to be able to, he's going to swords. He can swords up the Eldrazi spawn. Is it a Scion or a spawn?
It's a Scion.
Okay, yeah. Put up it on the thing. The sword kills Jace.
Yeah.
He goes in for the rest of the damage and just kills
Bolts
Jitesh,
Jitesh,
blows him out of the water. This is like, that was an insane amount of spice coming out of Dougal's side. But hey, look, it worked out. You know, all the more power to him. I mean, if you looked at the time on this video before you started and realized that it was only 25 minutes long, you'd probably be thinking that maybe D&T would win that one because Miracles likes to win nice and slow, but you'd be right. D&T did a great job, and that was a great showing from Dougal, so thank you very much, Dougal, for showing us the new D&T, Dougal's Tariffs. Thank you very much to Jitesh as well for showing off your beautiful Miracles deck and playing the best you could. Thank you very much for joining us, audience. Once again, this is CBR MTG. My name is Angus Mackay. I'm joined here with Jake.
Thanks,
guys.
Have
a great night.